Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for April 11th, 2024. We'll start with the hybrid swing portfolio. We're looking at 30-minute charts. This is Alcoa. So this is 1 day. This is today. It's highlighted in yellow. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. This red box represents the 5 days of trading. This solid red line here represents the anchored 5-day VWAP. So you can see that this has been a pretty choppy sideways move, respecting that 5-day sideways motion. So there hasn't been much extension in Alcoa. And that's actually a healthy thing, because when we remember last week, we had that strong consolidation zone and then a blowout move to here worth about 25R, a bit of a sell-off, but then this consolidation zone in here, which is nice. So if this was previous fair value, this is the current fair value. Well, why do we keep trading it in here if it's not breaking out? Because they all look the same leaving the station. That this little move right here, which led to almost 30R, looked just like all of the other trades when it started. These were all critical states. This is one that just happened to power through. So the main thing is to learn how to manage the risk and then capitalize on the abnormal moves with standard work. So today in Alcoa, we had a nice orderly sell-off and then crossing of the VWAP and crossing of the PSAR. So we just put our standard risk box on it, and it didn't really follow through, except it gave us 1R. Now, if you don't want 1R, just send it to me. I'm happy to collect 1R. AI, same thing, 1, 2, 3 entry, modest move, 1R. Caterpillar, 1, 2, 3 entry, same as the previous one, only this one blasted through the 3-day VWAP, which is this green line, broke above the PSAR, came all the way to the 5-day before it rolled over and we exited here, and that gives us 3R. So what we've had on the first 3 symbols is 1R, 1R, and 3R. So we got net 5 right now. Now, maybe you want to try to find 5R trades. I just want to make 5R. And if it means I got to grind out 3 trades in the usual way, so be it. Cliff. This was a half an hour after the 1, 2, 3 to the downside. CVS. Continuation collapsing dragon for an R. DIA. Diamonds. Gave us 2R after it bottomed out. We got a 1, 2, 3 entry, which then did a PSAR flip through the Bollinger Band main up to the 3-day VWAP, and then up into the exit near the end of the day. Disney, 1R. Devon Energy. This rolled over, crossed the VWAP. We got short, and it gave us 3R on a simple return to the 5-day VWAP. Nice trade. Emerging markets. Supported spring crossing, standard risk, normal exit, 3R. Ethereum, no trade. Mexico, no trade. Brazil, no trade. I missed the short. Home Depot, no trade. Intel, this was a focus stock based on the discussion we had yesterday. This was a PSAR flip, very, very quiet. returned an R, and I think this is the turning point in Intel. Tomorrow is a tactical Friday. This still has a ways to go to get to the 5-day anchored VWAP and just to get back to the 5-day high. So that, I think, weathered the storm. That's 3 days where it did not fail below 37. And today was actually the first sign of buying pressure. And it crossed the VWAP and held, or the Bollinger Band main held. This thing is ready to go. I hope the pot boils over tomorrow. No trade in IP, 2R in real estate, Coca-Cola. This was a 1, 2, 3 mid-morning, around lunchtime, I should say, and it collects an R, along with the whole S&P was moving in that direction, so that made this a relatively low-risk move. After yesterday's harsh sell-off, there was a little recovery for an R in regional banks. Today, the market basically was able to shake off the surprise inflation report from yesterday. So we're seeing a lot of these little step-by-step recoveries. McDonald's for half an hour, 3M for a fraction. That's actually looking very positive. It broke through the resistance from yesterday, and it's pretty much free and clear to the upside. And there's a lot of room to get back to previous levels. This is a long form Kata 2. It's holding nicely right here. And as long as it stays above that 5-period anchored VWAP, that's very, very bullish. And the target's going to be back here. Merck also finding a bottom along with the rest of healthcare. It made a move back to the 5-day anchored VWAP for 2R. I like it. Microsoft tech leader led the way. Oops. Let me get back to Microsoft here. Yeah. Microsoft was a continuation trade to the upside for 4R and has cleared resistance and made a new 5-day high today. That's very favorable. And then tomorrow, look to see it test the 30-day high. And if it breaks above that, dude, we're cooking. Look at Microsoft on the long term. That's what strength looks like, and it's ready to go. So the fractal nature of these moves. Marijuana, harsh sell-off and then a recovery. This is an SSC for 3R. Nike, emerging dragon gap up and go for an R. Nvidia was massively good today, a continuation of yesterday's gains. It broke through the 30-day anchored VWAP, made a new 5-day high. It's off to the races. I probably should have added a second position instead of cashing it. That's the greed talking, but that's 4R. Clean energy, scratch. Palantir has held support at a key level, gave us an R, and is ready to go. Rivian, beautiful collapsing dragon for 2R. SOUN, the AI stock for an R. That feels like it's ready to go, and that's a very low cost of entry. Almost an option play. The S&P finally got its act together, held support, and took off. Tesla, 3R, leader. Walmart for half an hour. U.S. Steel stabilized, no trade. XLI gave us 3R. How do you like that for an S&P sector spider giving you 3R after a nice 1, 2, 3 morning? Bounced off the 30-period anchored VWAP and then zoomed all the way back to the 5-period anchored VWAP. That's a recovery back to the short-term target. That's working out beautifully, that little experiment, I got to tell you. I'm going to cover that in the foundations course and in the small group group coaching program. That's getting ready to start up here in a little bit. If you're in the sound of my voice, there's still room in that cohort to get on board. And that's the last time you're going to be able to get started on that until September. So get it while it's hot. All right, this is sniper trade of the day on 3-minute charts on Tesla. This is where it closed yesterday, and it took off right from the open. And this is what we did. After it rolled over, this is like a quick frog. It rolled over and broke through the VWAP. So I'm short here. Standard risk. Cover at the PSAR exit for 3R. There's the reversal in the RL10. I pulled the trigger to exit here and got filled there. So what are you going to do? I tried that as a stop and reverse SSC, but it rolled over and I just decided to scratch. It then reversed, gave me a COTA 2. As it crossed the VWAP, it crossed the Bollinger Band mean here, broke above the resistance here, crossing the VWAP. You got to take that. And then this is the risk. So my target is going to be the top of the dragon and the top of the VWAP. And if you wanted to, high of the day. So that would give me 1, 2, 3, possibly a 4R trade up to here, 3R trade into here. Checker hold. And if it fails through here, then I'm certainly going to be short as a collapsing dragon because of this move. That's still the primary move of the day because here's the VWAP. The VWAP is pointing down. So I don't mind trying this, but if it fails, I'm happy because I'm going to get a CD, check or hold. It takes off. It gives me 2R in the usual way. COTA 2 re-entry. PSAR standard exit. I thought about that, but it was already 3 p.m. and then I missed the move up. So when we total that up, you're getting 3R in here, scratch, 2R in here, 3R in here. That gives you 8. Tesla, it's number 1 or 2 in terms of tradability intraday, based on the reliably large range percentage and the consistency of those moves gives it a high fraud quality number. And Tesla is the number one or number 2 in terms of optimum trading target in our techniques intraday. We say that every night and show it to you every night on the reports. All right, here's Nvidia. This is one of the top 10 best traders. So here's the opening at yesterday's close, and here's the open. It runs up and then holds tight right in here along that VWAP. So there's your daily VWAP right there. So if you just put like a breakout box on that, you can say go this way or go that way. That's all you do. Breakout, standard risk, Caught a 2-second entry after 4R in hand. Holding 6R into the close. Just hold that for tomorrow. You could exit there and just have no risk overnight. But there were so many recoveries today, and Tesla was one of the leaders. This feels like something where now that it's closed back above the key price level of 900, this feels like Tesla could be a candidate to gap up tomorrow. And we'll see. That's the way I'm betting it. Kevin's doing a great job on his daily trading plan and his after action review and his personal reflection. That's what excellence looks like. Accountability. Kevin will, along with Jay, will be in the small group. So if you want to work together in a good cohort, I can strongly recommend this cohort coming up. Here's Kevin trading Devon Energy on the short side for 2R. He considered that one, which would have paid off, but no hurries, no worries. Minus 0.9 on EWW. It was a little choppy and sideways today. There are no mistakes in that. Pulls in 2.2 on Intel. He does a quick reversal and gets on board and decides to hold that overnight. I think that's very sound. I think tomorrow there's a real good chance of that getting back up to 38.40. Intel, I feel, has turned the corner. So we'll see. Good work. Here's Jonathan. Survived some early morning chop in EWW. Might have stayed. I don't know if I take the third trade. I think I do. It's just it was perfectly timed with slippage to chew you up a little bit, but you stayed with it and you picked it all back up and you netted positive for the day. That's what right looks like. Well done. Just to notice that once this thing shakes out, it turns out you get a lot more reliable moves if you just suck it up for half an hour. But on the other hand, if it had just taken off and gone, you would have missed it and you'd regret it. So that's just taking your lumps and learning to have a thick skin. But keep studying, but keep firing. That's what really counts. I think you might have been able to get back in a little sooner, like right in here, just below the VWAP on the Kata 2. George does a nice job, 0.3 on Walt Disney. I think maybe I get out of that a bar sooner and make a bigger win. Because if you were holding about 0.8, and if that's larger than your average win, I don't know. I want to give back 0.5 on that move. Good job trimming this one, not letting it get out of hand on Nike. Here's Tim working on, let's see, where's my button here? I think this was Devon. And again, re-entry is the key to sanity on this one. He's got a very disciplined approach to exiting, and he pulls in 3.7 on Devon and out-traded me on that one. Well done. Key point was the breakdown below the VWAP, and the declining VWAP tells you keep that short side bias. And then when it goes below yesterday's VWAP, that tells you that that is a decisive move. I could argue you want a second position in here somewhere. I think right around here, 53.90. But that's great work for 3.7. All right, let's look at the reports for today to be ready for tomorrow's Tactical Friday. Still bullish normal. A nice recovery today on the shorter term. Volatility is still warning you, be ready for sharp moves. You still have a buy on dip opportunity in diamonds and mid caps. Enormous number of favorable auto framer trades and 3 5DDs to target with Boeing, Nucor Steel, which I really like, and Verizon, all looking very favorable with favorable reward to risks. Hard to get better than Verizon on that one. ETF 30s, a ton of auto framers shaping up very, very nicely. I think tomorrow is shaping up for fireworks. I like Intel, IBM, and 3M as squeezes today, and they all had strong upward days. I really like Intel as a focus stock for tomorrow. And it's at 5.5 to 1 on the auto framer. A real mind split between summer and winter. So the haves and the have-nots. And I'm going to be ready for fireworks tomorrow. Apple and Microsoft in the tech land were very strong today, along with Oracle. So today was a tech recovery day, guys. And XLK was at 303 and the Qs were at 307. So this, I think, is the tech leadership rally that we've been pinging on for a couple weeks. Here's your trading value, guys. Tesla, number one, marijuana, clean energy, all were massively good today as traders. Nvidia in the 5 slot, Intel in the 6 slot, Nucor in the 8 slot. That tells you what you need to know, guys. And we're right at a potential turning point. If it bounces off the -1 Z-score, this is the start of a really nice swing. It's holding with a double bottom you can see at the bottom of the river. It's all poised for buy on dip, just like it did last time it was at a location like that. So let's be ready for Tactical Friday tomorrow and keep our risk measured and our powder dry. Take good care.